Welcome back to the channel. Well, I'm gonna try something new, well, new to me at least. Something different that I normally do on the channel. Still tractor related, of course, but I am thinking about doing like a monthly spotlight of a Minneapolis Moline, whether it be history or a certain model or equipment or combines or something like that. Kind of, I don't know, just something to go, about production numbers and history, and so hopefully everybody, including myself, is going to learn something. So in this installment, we'll call it Tractor Talk, and Tractor Talk with Moline Dan. How's that? Maybe we'll call it that. I don't know. I haven't decided for sure. But this month we're gonna do UB. Friend of mine bought, if you remember, the Albrecht auction company. They had a sale, an estate sale for the Kevin Leffler estate up in Gagetown, Michigan. Well, a friend of mine bought the UB, UBE to be exact, which is, we'll go over what the E stands for later in this video when we get there. But he wanted some rear wheel weights, and I don't, advertise that I sell parts or anything like that. I just help friends out. So, or if you need parts, I'll help you find them from somewhere else. But I kind of, I hang on to them for the most part because I've got so many projects going on and I can use parts, but I don't mind helping out my friends, if you know what I mean. So anyways, he wanted some weights, and I've got lots of those that fit a UB, or that style, I should say. But anyways, yeah, we're gonna head over there. He's got a Massey Harris right there too that we're gonna look at, and yeah, just a couple things. And I've done a little bit of research, made some notes, and on some interesting things, I think. So, well, that's gonna take me about 25 minutes to get there, and maybe I can show you a little bit of what's going on around here, so without people getting too nervous. But a lot of corn being chopped. There's lots of dairy, or big dairy farms around here. A lot of soybeans are already off. Dry beans are almost all off, I would say. Corn, pretty dry looking. So, yep. But leaves are turning. Beautiful day though. What's that say? Anyways, I don't know if it got 60 degrees today or not. Let me look here. 66 degrees. So that's a set aside field. That one's not too awesome. But anyways, yeah. Actually, here's the one of the dairy farms right here. That's not too far from where I live. They're hauling shikaka, which is an everyday thing. There's a nice ridge on the edge of a swamp. I don't know if the camera's picking up the colors or not, but I was told, well, it got dry towards the end of the year, and the dryness is making the colors not so vibrant this year, making them more brown than the red and yellow and orange, I should say. But I don't know. There's a field of beans there that's taken off. I don't know if there's gonna be a plant of wheat in there or not. So a lot of guys, they plant soybeans here. They're gonna, that's where the wheat's gonna be. It's not always that case, but anyways, this guy here plants that for the deer, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, they kind of cleared some of that. That's pretty, I would say that's pretty wet area right there. But anyways, well, just so everybody knows, I am going to do the UB special in its own video. We'll do a showcase for the UB specials. I think there's enough content for a full video just on the UB specials. So, made in 1955 only, just FYI. All right, well, we made it over here. We, meaning me, but here it is. So, this is a 1953 UBU. I'm sorry, UBE. A UBU would be a narrow front tractor. I'll put a picture, hopefully I can remember right, put it right here. UBE is just like this here, with an adjustable wide front. Then a UBN would be a single front wheel. I found a picture online, and I'll put that one right here. Then I guess that's it for what was available. They never made a UBS, we'll call that, with a standard front end, but they did make, well, UTSs when they were making UBs. How's that? So anyways, yeah, this is it's been repainted. This is a tractor who was on my channel, you know, a couple months ago or a month ago, whatever it was, and we went over this tractor, and it did not run according to the sale bill. But you got it running, John?
Yeah. No, it didn't take much to get it running. I had to put a new sediment bowl in it because the old one was plugged right off.
Oh yeah.
And cleaned the carburetor, and I put a new battery in it.
Okay.
And it was still 6 volt.
Okay.
So I switched it over to 12 volt, but I'm waiting for I'm getting to put an alternator on.
Oh,
it still
okay.
has a generator on.
Yep.
I haven't done the alternator yet, and I have to do a tune-up on it. It's still, everything's still the way I bought it. I didn't even change the spark plugs.
Okay.
So it must not have been too long since it last ran.
Mm-hmm.
I ordered a new muffler for it from Steiner's because it's rotted out here at the bottom.
Okay.
And obviously that's not that's not the way a UB would have came.
Right. Yeah, it should have a little bit bigger muffler on there
and
too.
I don't know, kind of a funny story if Dan said it in the intro or not, but I'll tell you, I had to kind of pry this tractor from Dan.
Oh, not really.
he did a video of it, like he said, a preview of the auction, and that's how I seen that it was there. I didn't know anything about it, and he said he was kind of interested in it, and I thought, dang, you know, I'm kind of interested in it too. And
yeah.
I kind of said, well, I think you got enough tractors, Dan, maybe I should get it. So then he said he let me have it.
Yeah. Well, that's all right.
I paid $1,650 for it, I guess, is what I paid.
Okay.
Which was, it was probably worth more than that running, I would say. But it wasn't running at the time, but I took a gamble and figured it wouldn't take much to get it going.
Yep. As long as it rolls over, you know we can get it running.
That's what I figured too. I figured if it rolls over, I'm not going to worry about it too much.
Yep. 15.5 38s. Yeah, that probably didn't come factory, those bigger tires on there, but.
And actually, I was looking at that too. I mean, it's going to need tires someday, but the rims on it are actually quite wide rims. You know, I don't think them rims would have even been that wide from the factory, would they? I mean, because them 15.5s ain't even hardly sucked in much on that rim.
Was 15.5 even available at that time in the 50s?
I don't think so.
That's
I don't know for sure. Probably not 53, would they?
I don't think so.
They had like 13 38s and 12 38s.
Yeah. Yep. That's right.
And now I don't know on these, of course, this is a 53, but I know like on the 880 Olivers, which would have been quite a bit newer than this tractor, some of them actually, Lonnie said, came with 16.938s.
Okay.
That would have been a big tire, but of course that was a lot newer tractor. But I don't know on these, you know, if 15.5s would have been available or not.
Right. I'd have to look that up. But see, one of the big differences between a U and a UB, of course, is the race platform. This whole float ride seat on there, that was kind of like a, you know, a really an upgrade comfort thing, you know. And of course the foot clutch, and see what else was there.
Is this something for live power? You know
yes.
a lot more about Moline than I do.
That is your M&W clutch for live power. Yes. Is it stuck?
No, I don't think it's
No, it's not stuck.
No, it's not stuck.
Okay.
That's what that was for.
Yeah.
I've had several UBs, but I've never had one with that clutch before.
Yep. And I know 2 UBs you used to have.
Yeah, they come from you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, custom cup holder, that's kind of neat too.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, that's pretty special right there. Yeah, I assume that's a cup holder. So,
you know, I guess the reason why I like the UBs is because when I was a little kid, my grandpa used to pull 44 Masseys. That's why I like Massey Harris's.
Mm-hmm.
And the Gingels all had UBs that they used to pull.
Oh, okay.
And they had, back then, nobody knew it, but they had 403s in them. And they would punch, you know, out of a G.
Right.
And they would punch them out even and get more power.
Mm-hmm.
And they would, you know, they would just win everything because they had, you know, they had so much more power. And, you know, I was only this high, you know, and I remember seeing them pull. And my grandpa's got videos of them, VHS tapes that my grandma recorded. And I thought they were such a big tractor back then. You know, when you sit on, anybody that's ever been on a UB, you feel like you're sitting on top of the world.
Well,
I mean,
kind of like the Vistas now.
the seat on the
yeah.
Massey and the UB, the seat's a foot higher.
Yep.
You know.
Oh, absolutely.
And, so I always like the way a UB sits, and I like the platform. You know, they got such a big platform, and I know there's guys out there that'll argue with me, but I can't. You get on. I don't like a U. I know there's not. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a U, but for me, I prefer the UB. I like the foot clutch and the brakes here and everything. But you know, some of the guys that grew up on U's, that's what they like. You know, everybody likes something different. But
he just mentioned brakes too. So of course, you know, the foot clutch here, but on a B series, ZB and UB, the brakes are up here. Where, you know, if this was a straight U or an early U, there'd be one on each side. Some of them, like my G, has two brakes on this side over here, plus it still has one over there.
Now a UTS.
Yep, it's standard.
For a minute.
No problem.
That had a faster road gear, right?
Depends on what year it was.
I had one that I bought from Bill Chappell.
Yeah.
The old man.
Oh yeah.
The one that was in a wheelchair.
Right, right.
And that had a really fast road gear in it. And I was told that was a UTS, I thought, or UT. Yep. I don't know what. I'm not sure which one. I heard that the reason why, of course, mine was a pulling tractor, so it had 16.938. But didn't some of them come with 36-inch rear tires?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's why they put a faster gear in them?
Maybe, but do you remember the shift pattern? Because there is a faster rear end.
Not off the top of my head, but I know it was different than this one.
Yeah, it was probably
different.
The faster rear end.
Now that you say that, it had a different gear shift pattern.
Yep.
And that's why then I had the fact, because it had a heck of a road gear.
Yes, that's what the pullers want. So,
But now this like I said, I've had several UBs, but I'm by no means an expert on them. Now that would have been a factory-wide front then, right?
That's a 12-volt generator on there, because UBs.
So I should be able to use that.
Yeah, UBs.
See, that's how that is on that Massey.
Okay. Because UB, well, that was one of the things. UBs, when they went to, even on my ZB, they went to a 12-volt system. That was one of the big differences too.
That's how that one is. That's still got a generator on it, but it's 12 volt.
Okay.
It charges.
I see.
I guess I didn't really pay that much attention to this when you're right.
Yep.
Because I heard that.
Yeah, it says right there.
Okay, so I should be able to use that.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, the only thing I've done to it is set them a bulb, got it running and everything. And I was going to put an alternator on it, but like that one there, that makes sense because that one's got a generator on it and it charges 12 volt.
Right.
And that looks like
that's not burnt out.
Yeah, and that manifold looks fairly new, don't it?
Yeah, I don't think that's an original, but because it doesn't have the Moline part numbers on here. The intake does, but this doesn't. But
yeah, because you can see even maybe like the gasket don't look that old.
Right.
In some of them are in the back there, but yeah, I mean, I guess I had two of them from you that I made polars out of.
Right.
And one of that one went to Wisconsin, and the other one a guy in Carsonville bought. Actually, Art Mills' son-in-law.
Okay.
Bought the one from me, that last one that I got.
Oh, I see.
And that first one that I got from you, I got a 403 from Doug Henderson.
Yep.
And put in that one, and then I sold it to a guy in Wisconsin. So it's kind of funny, all these years later, and people are still making polars out of them, you know.
Yo, I know it.
You think of when my grandpa was pulling, that was back in the late 80s, early 90s, so that was 35 years ago, and they're still using them for polars. That's got to be quite a testament to how good of tractors they were.
Right.
You know, I don't know the stuff they make nowadays. I don't think you're going to be seeing people.
Well, that's the thing. You're going to have a hard time finding any plastic on this tractor anyway.
Right.
It doesn't really have any sensors either.
No.
Boy, they got quite a hitch welded on the front here.
I see that, yeah.
Yeah, that's
So you're saying this would have been a factory-wide front?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. because we
let me see. I'll look at the serial tag. What's the prefix on the tag there? The first 3 numbers, 0 something 0.
059.
059. Yep, it's a factory UBE.
Okay.
Yep. How do I know that? Well, I did some research, and I will share my research with you shortly here, and in this video too. So, but anyways, yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, this isn't the correct, you know, but it's not bad.
No,
you
I
know?
had a guy ask me about that, and I said, no, that's not factory. You know,
no, it's supposed to be yellow.
He already knew that, but he just wanted.
He was testing you.
Me, and I said, no, they only made a red. You know, they made a red nose U, but not a UB. And,
yeah.
And
well, the early ones, even the Z's and R's red. But.
It's kind of like the 400 and the 450 farmers. You know, the 450s had the white on them, and the 400s didn't. Okay. And you'll see some guys will paint the 400s to, you know, to look like a 450 or whatever. And, I mean, I kind of like them all original, you know.
Right.
But
well,
I didn't paint it. So.
Right. Yeah, this one's been repainted. So if you know, it's not gonna hurt my feelings if you repaint it. But
no, you know,
do whatever
the thing
you want.
Of it is for what I'm gonna do with it, I plan on just I got hydraulics off in our other UB that we made into a puller, and I'm gonna put hydraulics on it, and I'm gonna get a plow, and I plan on just bringing it to your plow days next year. And I will repaint it someday, but for now it's going to stay like this because it's in a lot better shape than some of them.
Absolutely.
I mean? So,
absolutely. So it's got GE30Z heads. That's good. So
I think that one that I got from you had the J heads on it.
Okay.
And that's a higher compression head.
Yeah. Well, they're spreading Chicago.
Yeah, that's quite a process there too, ain't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't smell that. To me, it doesn't smell that bad, but you know, other people might.
It cleans your nostrils out anyways.
Yeah. Well, I know I don't have COVID.
Yeah, you can smell. So
yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, before I get into what I want to talk about, the history and, you know, production numbers of these, let's talk about your Sassy Massey over here. Really good tires on this one.
Yep, so this one is a 1951 Massey, and for people that don't know, Massey Harris is one of the tractors, few that they stamped right under here, the date it was made, the day, the month, the date, and the year right under here.
Oh, okay.
So that will.
Oh, let's see if we can see it. I don't know. It might be too dark for you. I don't know.
So that's how you can always tell on a 44 or a 33 or any of them. And then when they went to the newer ones, the 444s and that, they had a serial plate and they had numbers on it. You had to look up in a book.
You're teaching me something today.
And it's got the original Westover motor equipment in Marlette, Michigan.
That is cool.
Is where it was sold.
Yeah, that is neat.
And that has been closed
for a long time.
Long time. So that sticker survived an awful lot. And this one here, I do plan on painting. And I found a place online. You probably heard of them. They can make them reproduction stickers.
Yep.
You just give them whatever information you want on there, and they'll remake them. So I plan on putting them back on.
Awesome.
And it's got the adapters for duals.
Yeah. Okay.
And
made in Colita, Ohio. That's what is it, Unverfirth now?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do believe.
So them were on there when I bought it.
Yeah.
I put new front tires on it. It's got 750.
Big.
Or no, 95s on our 15s.
Oh man.
Yeah, big tires.
That's kind of what I want to put on my M5, but I want to do a 3-rib.
I did put new plugs and distributor cap points and stuff in this one. New battery, new battery cables. I tried.
So this one you bought up by Ubley?
Yup, I put a new manifold on this one, a new muffler, cleaned the carburetor, put a new rim on it. Yeah, this one, so backing up a little bit.
Yep.
This one come from Ubley. People that are familiar with Ubley, the dragway, it sat right next to the Ubley dragway for years and years and years, and it was sitting there in the weeds, and it had a pail over the muffler. And I'll bet you I drove by this thing for 10 years or longer, and I always, every time we drove by it, I told my wife I should stop in there and buy that tractor. So one day I was coming back from Bad Axe, and I said, well, I'll just wheel in there and see what's going on. So I goes up to the door, and the woman comes to the door, and I says, would you be interested in selling that old Massey out there? And she says, yeah, sure, she said. And I says, well, is it a 44 or 33? She says, I don't know.
Oh.
So we walked out there and I seen it was a 44, and she says, well, what would you give me for it? Had the tire and the rim was rotted out.
Okay.
On this side because they had core eye down. So I bought it, and it wasn't seized up, obviously. So I took and went up there with the 4010 and bale spear and hooked it on the front end and wrapped chain around it, picked it up and drug it. That's how I brought it home. The tire took air enough to get it home.
Yep.
And then, funny story, this rim has my initials on it, JH. And that rim come from Bill Dawson.
Oh,
where
really?
You got all the tractors.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, years and years ago, me and Bill used to pull tractors together, and apparently this is a rim off one of my old pulling tractors. And Garrett, I needed a rim.
Yep.
And Garrett says, well, I got a rim over here. It's got your initials on it. And I said, really?
Yep.
So I got this rim from Garrett.
Wow.
And took it, or, you know, took tire off the old rim and put it on here. And then, so it's just kind of crazy how that works. I mean, I haven't pulled tractors with Bill Dawson in 20 some years.
Right.
And this rim come back to me. You
Yeah,
know?
awesome.
So this one has factory 3-point hitch. It's got the factory wide front, Massey Harris wide front. It's got factory 3-point hitch, which on a 44, that was quite rare. There wasn't too many 44s with factory 3-point. When they went to the 444, see how this PTO is so high?
Way up
when they
there.
went to the 444, they lowered the PTO down here and moved the third arm up here.
All right, that makes a lot more sense.
So this is towards the end of the production of the 44s. They didn't build the 444s till 56, but they come out with the 44 special.
I see.
And that would have had factory 3-point. And then I want to give kind of a shout out to a guy. If anybody ever needs anything like this, this is a drawbar pin that goes up under the center.
Okay.
For the drawbar, it goes in the rear end, and then this plate, this goes through the drawbar into the rear end casting. Then this plate holds it on.
Yep.
Well, I couldn't find one of these. I found the plate and a pin, but that wasn't the right pin. I couldn't find one of these anywhere that was any good. I mean, on eBay, they wanted 80, 90 bucks just for this right here used.
Yep.
So I went on a Massey Harris website on Facebook and seen if anybody had one, and this lady gave me this guy's number out of Wisconsin.
Yep.
And he built that right there, both of them pieces, for $20. And he has them on the shelf, and he makes all kinds of stuff. He's retired and he just does it. So, and he said he does all kinds of stuff for all different tractors. And he charged me $12 shipping. So I got $32 into that right there.
Well, you're not going to drive to Wisconsin for 12 bucks.
You couldn't, I don't know if you could get anybody to make that for, you know, and it's tapered, you know, it's about, he's cut that out for the, so I got his information.
Well, here,
I'll give it to Dan.
Let's share it.
And here's his information.
We'll put it right on
there. And I can find his phone number if somebody's interested.
Yeah, if you got his phone number, we'll put it on there for him.
Because this guy, I mean, he owes you know, he deserves some kind of recognition, because that's really cheap for what he did.
Yep, helping a feller out, you know, our fellow tractor
so that's
people.
kind of the story on this one. And there's a little more to the story on this one. Is a guy that used to work at Westovers as a mechanic. He passed away now. And he used to work with my grandpa at the road commission, and he was a mechanic, and he delivered the tractors. He worked as a mechanic, plus he delivered the tractors. And he actually, I found out from the son of Westovers, is still alive. AJ is his name. He lives in Marlette. Okay. And I went over and talked to him, and he knew a lot. He told me a lot, and he said that Gordon, his last name was Gordon, the guy, and he delivered all the tractors. So he would have delivered this tractor, and he worked with my grandpa for years at the county. So I mean, that's kind of a cool story.
Yeah,
too, you know
kind of neat. And, it's kind of full circle, kind of. I mean, I got pictures of me when I was just tiny on these things with my dad and my grandpa. I've been kind of around Massey Harris's my whole life, and that's kind of what got me started into them, I guess.
Same thing with the Molines. I told you I've been, you know, always been around them since I was a kid too. So I kind of like them all, really. I like Ellis Chalmers.
There's nothing wrong with
that. You know what I mean?
Nothing wrong with that.
I kind of like them all. So.
Yep.
But
awesome. Well, well, we want to hear it running.
Okay.
You can start them up. I'll get to the not sunshine side. Yeah. Awesome. Only if you want to stop. Yep.
Actually sounds really good.
Yeah, it does. Yep.
I think it sounds pretty good, really.
It does.
What little I've done to it.
Right. Right. Huh. Interesting. I like it.
Kind of weird how they had these sediment bulbs on this UB, and Moline guys will know that's not the right sediment bulb for this tractor. It's supposed to have a short one.
Yeah, well, it's in a right location. So.
I had that one laying around, so that's,
that can collect
so
more.
It's got the tall one now, or the
more
long
sediment.
one now.
So.
We could start the old Massey.
Sure, sure. While you're putting the gas on, we'll look it over here. Yeah, this is more like you see it in a farm all, but this part is factory. This here. So, hey, toss it on the bowl. It's not going to hurt anything.
No, actually, it's probably better.
It is. Oh, yeah.
It's got the Massey line.
Yeah.
Never noticed that the Massey rear end, they all whine. Why that is. They all
straight cut gears, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Got the corn screen on the front. Oh, it is only a 4-cylinder. Oh, I was thinking that was 6 cylinders in there.
They did make some with 6 cylinders.
Okay.
They had a flathead Continental in them.
Okay, so what is it?
And,
what is this motor? Is this Continental too?
Yeah, it's a 260 cubic inch Continental.
Okay.
And I don't know for sure, but most of them, every one that I've ever tore apart had the M&W overbore, which would make it a 277.
Okay.
It'd have the 4-inch pistons in it.
I see.
But they did make them with the flathead 6 in them, and a lot of guys would put a Chrysler industrial engine in them for pulling.
Okay.
And they were like 85 horse or something. I think I actually had one with a 6-cylinder in it that Bill Dawson had that he got from a guy, and they took that motor out of a combine.
I see.
Some of the combines must have had them 6 cylinders in them.
Yep.
So
Moline and Oliver ones did.
yeah, and
Chrysler.
but these were
a Chrysler motor, I should say.
You know, I never really worked them very much. My dad had one when I was a kid, and we used it on the grain drill a little bit, but I mean, as far as like field work, I never really worked one a whole lot. But from what I understand, they were really easy on fuel.
Okay.
So, and they did have a fairly long stroke in the engine. They had 5.5-inch stroke.
Oh,
so
okay.
they got quite a bit of torque.
Yeah.
Where like these are what, 5-inch, right? 5-inch or 5 1/4.
Should say right outside the motor.
I think it's 5 1/4. Or is it 5-inch?
I thought it used to say on there. Not on these. Must be the Z's. The Z's they say, but I don't remember that part.
I think these are 5-inch if I remember.
Okay.
They're either 5 or 5 1/4.
Well, I know that the 403.
Farmall is 5 1/4.
Well, the 403 is 6-inch. So.
Yeah, 6-inch.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that I know.
Yeah, because that one that I got from you, the first one, I took and got a 403 motor from Doug, which actually it was a 283 bottom with
Okay.
with the G jugs, and then I put the I just bought the jugs and the crankcase from him, and he already had the 6-inch stroke in it.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I did that is because if you use a G engine and a G starter, you have to grind out the rear end of your tractor mainly to accept the starter, because the starter is so much bigger.
Okay.
So I just kept it with a 283, and I can't really remember how this works, but guys that know a lot more about Molines than me will know this. You have to take the flywheel off a 283 and put it on the G. You know, you have to take the ring gear, not the flywheel. That's what I mean. You have to take the ring gear off and put it on the other one, so that, because one's got a foot clutch and one's got a hand clutch.
Right.
You know, a 403, a G had a hand clutch.
Yep, G's and GBs all had a hand clutch.
And actually, there was a GB at the auction sale where I bought this one, and that was a fairly nice tractor too. I thought about buying that one too, and that one you said come from Illinois.
Yep.
Okay. And we really don't know where
I know a little bit more information, but I'm not going to tell you that on camera.
Well, we don't know where this one came from.
No, I don't.
I have no idea where this one came from.
Do you know if that 302 went to the people that...
It did not.
No.
And that guy lives right down the road here.
Okay.
He actually lives not even a mile from here. On that side of the road.
I thought...
And he wanted that tractor.
Yep.
People that watched the video that you did last winter about the 9600 Ford will know that I have a lot of stories. But they're good stories, so I guess. But, okay, you're talking about that 302.
Right.
That kid sold that tractor at Argyle auction sale.
Yep.
He got $5,200 for that tractor.
Holy cow.
And that doesn't have the original engine.
Right.
So I thought he did good.
Yeah.
So then he wanted that 302. It was on the same auction sale as this tractor,
right?
And he was bidding on it. Okay, the night that this auction ended, I was right on the phone because I didn't want to lose this tractor,
right?
And I bought a header cart for my dad. I bought a header cart and a set of front fenders for a 4020. You know them front fenders.
Yep. But
I was mainly worried about this tractor. So the kid, he's down the road.
Yep.
He had that Chevy pickup for sale, that green pickup.
Oh.
That's sitting in my driveway.
Oh.
Well, I bought the pickup the same night I bought this tractor. So I was hoping that he would get the tractor because he wanted it, and I thought, well, if I wanted the pickup anyways, that's not why I bought it, but I was hoping that maybe that would help him out get his tractor back. But that tractor went for
30-something hundred.
It was more than what I thought. I mean, it might have been worth it, but not having the original engine, I didn't really think that it was worth that much. But I mean, it's just kind of a funny story. We're both bidding on tractors on the auction, and then I buy a truck from one.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, how things get. But no, I've had a lot of Molines actually. For, like I said, I grew up on Massey Harris's, but I've had a lot of Molines. My grandpa had a UB that we bought from a guy in Illinois, and it had a wide front on it, just like this one. Had a bunch of wheel weights on it. It had the 403 engine in it already because the guy was plowing with it down there.
Okay.
And we were pulling Massey Harris's back then, and we wanted to get more power, and it was going to cost so much more money to build a Massey engine than what we could do a Moline for. So we bought that UB out of Illinois, took the wide front off in it, put a narrow front on it, and that one that Grandpa had a funny wide front. It had a wide front, but it had the pedestal sticking down where you could just put a narrow front on it.
It was an aftermarket.
Right, and it still had the pedestal sticking down from the narrow front, where you just put this little thing on it, and then a wing nut, and you could put your wheels on. Yep. So it's pretty simple to put a narrow front on that one. Yep. So that's what we did. We put a narrow front on it. We pulled it for a whole year with just the 403. It had 4232 heads on it. It had a propane manifold. It had the Pierce governor. So it ran good. So we pulled it for a year like that, and then we went to Doug Henderson, and he built us a motor. He took the 403 motor and he punched it out to 5 1/4. Used a Jacobs aircraft piston. Put a 7-inch crank in it. So it was 606 cubic inches. I mean, it was around 145 horse.
Holy cow.
On the dyno. I mean, it might have did more, but I mean, it was a lot of strain on it. So, but it had people that know torque numbers. I don't know what a stock UB would have for torque, but I know it wasn't 1,150 pounds.
No.
And that's what ours had when we got done with it. So we pulled that for, oh geez, Grandpa pulled it for probably 6 or 7 years, and then he sold it to a guy out in North Dakota.
Okay.
And that guy's still pulling it.
Yep.
And then I pulled a UB special at that time that I bought from Stu Gingell, which the Gingels have always been big into Molines. And I had a UB special that it was on propane, narrow front, had a 403 in it that they punched out the 4 3/4 bore, so it was like a 425 or something. So I pulled that for a while, and then you know, like I said, my grandpa's was 606 cubic inches, but I also pulled a friend of mine's UB that was 715 cubic inches. Sam Gingell. He's got one with a 7.5 inch crank and a 5.5 inch piston. And that was, boy, that was a lot of fun to pull that. You could pull that in 4th gear.
Oh, really?
I mean, it was fun. It was fun to pull. And that one was set up on propane too. So then we got out of pulling, and I guess the reason why I got this tractor is because we were plowing we went to a couple plow days, and my grandpa said, God, he said a UB would be a nice tractor to plow with. He said, you sit up high on them, and he said, and I said, well, I said, if one comes up for sale, I'll buy it. And so my plan is to, my grandpa's 83 years old, and I don't know how many more years we're going to have him, hopefully a few. And my plan is to let him plow with us next year, because he's still in good shape. And I thought that would be something to do, you know. So,
we'll get your hydraulics on. If you don't find a plow, I got a 3-bottom hydraulic.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I
use it.
I wouldn't mind actually putting a M5 kit on this, because that would make it 336 cube, and that's fairly easy to do.
See, our 51U UTE, should say it, just like this, but the U series has an M5 upper end on it.
Okay.
That thing will pull 416s like.
Oh yeah, they were.
Is it back there?
Yeah.
I think get that out.
I think you have to take a little bit off the pistons, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We bought it like that.
Wendell Evers told me that you got to take so many thousandths off the top, because an M5 piston is a little bit taller than a UB, and he said it's easy to tell. You set them on the bench and you can see one's higher than the other. You just take it to a machine shop and they'll nail it off.
Huh?
I've never actually done an M5 kit myself. I put, like I said, I put 403s together on these, but I've never did an M5 kit. But that's what he told me, and he knows a lot about Moline, so I would say that he knows what he's talking about.
I wouldn't argue with him either. So.
You know,
been around the block a few times.
Yeah, real good guy too. I bought some parts for that one, and I bought a manifold and a gasket set from him, and I'm not sure what else I got from him, but I'm real knowledgeable guy.
Yes. Well, awesome. Well, I made myself a little punch card here with a bunch of notes, and I just wanted to, talk about the UBs, and next month we'll do a different model tractor, and hopefully I can do something similar. If I don't have that model, I'll go to one where one is. It's kind of fun to see other people's tractors as well. But so little let's see, a history lesson now. The UBs were made 1953 to 1955, so that's really not that long of a run. So and I already said it earlier, the UB as well as the ZB, one of the changes from the hand clutch of the regular Z's and regular U went to a foot clutch. The raised platform, disc brakes, that was a big thing too. Like I say, the brake pedals on these both are on the right hand side, so that wasn't the case in the earlier version. So the UB, replaced the U, and the UB was replaced by, I would say, the 5-star. Replaced that. So anyways, and we'll get to some of those at a different day. 12 volt was the standard for UBs. That was kind of a big deal too. Of course they start better because there's more voltage going to everything. So again, they started making these in 53. In 53 they were available in gasoline, tractor fuel or distillate, you know, which is a cheap fuel at that time, or LP. And they all had different horsepower ratings. So these are drawbar horsepower. The gasolines would have been about 42 horsepower according to my research. The tractor fuel or distillate was down to 37, so it must have been, you know, not as good a quality fuel. And then the LPs were 44 horsepower, which that makes sense to me, anyways, because I sure like them. So, and then you know, in 53 to 55 they made the UBU, the UBE like this, and the UBN. N would be a single front wheel, and that would have had the 283 cubic inch, the 283B-4, B being the second series of the 283, and 4 being 4 cylinders. But anyways, in 54 and 55 they brought out the UBU diesel and UBE diesel. That would had the D283-4, which you can probably figure out the D stands for diesel, and then the rest is the same. And those were, you know, governed at a whopping 1,300 horsepower, or sorry, 1,300 RPMs, not horsepower. And they were rated for at 40 on the drawbar and 45 on the belt. Then in 54 only, they made the UBN diesel, and only made 48 of those at that time. So anyways, so if you were ever questioning, you know, does the rear end match the front end, I'm going to tell you what the prefix is, the model, and how many they made total. I'll wait for this guy to go by. But anyways, so the UBU, the prefix is 058, which they made 5,077 of those. And they made, of course, 53 to 55. The UBE, like this, has a prefix on the serial tag on the transmission, not on the motor, of 059, and they made 1,421 of these. The UBN, and these are all gases, what I'm talking about. UBN would have a 060 prefix on the serial tag, and they made 241 of those. So in Moline terms, yeah, that's low production. You know, if it was John Deere, that's hen's teeth. You know, that's just the way it is, because they made how many more John Deeres and Internationals than Moline made. Yeah, I mean, well, we can get on that. Let's go to diesels. So UBU diesel, which would be a UB diesel with a narrow front, prefix 078, they made 1,041 of those. Then the UBE diesel, prefix 070, and they made 362 of those. Then the UBN diesel, which is quite rare, I only made 48. The prefix for that is 069. So I just, you know, a couple other things. Brand new, these tractors, original cost was about $3,000, give or take a little bit, whatever options you had on different sizes of tires. Did it have weights, you know, hydraulics or not, the live PTO or not, or, you know, the live power on there. You know, all those things, you know, affect it one way or another. Fuel tank, like this one here has a 12-gallon fuel tank. This was an LP. It would be 35 gallons in LP. So I would imagine the diesels were the same size tank. And last but not least, they weigh about somewhere between 6 and 6,500 pounds. So yeah, just a little snippet of the information on there. So, you know, hopefully my research is all correct. It was not off the internet, just so you know. I was referencing 4 different books that I was looking through, and amazing enough, the production numbers were the same in all the books I was reading. So anyways, that was nice. And you know, I'll post pictures, and hopefully all that works out in the different models. But anyways, well, John, I appreciate your time.
One thing,
yeah,
I would like to say about the tractors real quick, for some people that maybe not are tractor guys that watch the channel, you know, that just enjoy the content.
Right.
One major difference between these two tractors is you'll notice here, there's no frame.
Right.
Because they use the engine for the frame.
Yep.
So the oil pan on this tractor is all you can do if you're strong.
Oh, it's heavy. Yeah, they're
Okay.
heavy.
Now come over here to this Massey Harris.
All right.
Look at the difference. This has a full frame.
Yep.
Like the Olivers.
Yep. Tub.
So
Like
and
a
it has a
Oliver.
connecting shaft, a power shaft from the transmission to the rear end.
Right.
So basically, if you want to shorten this shaft, you can put any engine in this tractor. you
Oh,
want.
absolutely.
So that's why you see a lot of Massey Harrises and Olivers with V8 engines in them and stuff
Yep.
like that. And the oil pan on this tractor weighs nothing.
Yeah,
It's just tin.
Yep.
Because they don't use it for part of the
For
structural
strength.
strength
Yep.
of the tractor.
That's right.
So I mean,
That's a
most
good
people
point.
know that are into tractors, but I just thought that was something that's kind of
Oh yeah.
kind of you know, neat to know. You know, the
Thanks for
differences
bringing that up. That is a great thing to point out
yeah,
too.
so I mean, that's just something.
So what year? You said this is a 50?
51.
51. Okay.
That one is. And
So
this
they're
53.
Yep, they're close in age, but not quite. But okay. Well,
So I think
awesome.
that's about all I got.
That's all you got for today. So one more thing though, we're gonna check out the Alice Chalmers because I don't,
Okay.
you know, there's
That's a D15 Series 2,
yeah.
and it's got a factory Alice Chalmers loader on. It's a 400 model.
Okay.
I do not know what year that one is.
All right.
It's just a loader that I use around here. We've got other loader tractors at my dad's, and I've got my skid steer that I
Right.
use mainly. But
Yeah.
it's a pretty good tractor, actually.
Yeah. I like you said, you like them all.
Yeah. I
You
do.
know, these are.
This has got the front mount pump
see
on it,
that.
hydraulic pump, which makes
Yeah.
it stronger. You know. And
handy sized tractor.
yeah, it really is. I mean, it will. For the size of it, I mean, it will pick up a round bale like nothing. I use it to put round bales in for the horses all the time, and I mean, it will lift a lot.
Yep. Huh. I don't know a lot about them, but I know these are, you know, a good tractor to have.
Yeah, they are.
So-
This one's got 3-point on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a couple oil leaks, which is nice because that means you know there's oil in it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's
If
right.
it's leaking, it's got oil in it.
Yep. Awesome. Well, John, I think we could probably cut her here. So.
Okay. Yep.
All right. Well, thanks, John, again for sharing, you know, his gems, his collection here of tractors that are at this place, at least, and you know, the conversation, the stories. The stories are priceless, aren't they? So, all right. Well, I appreciate you watching. Thanks again. We'll see you in the next one.